Join us on Geek Blood, the show you can't ignore. Wayne and Kevin diving deep into all things galore. Comic book, movie, sci-fi, and action thrill. Reviewing new TV shows, we keep it real. Reminiscing the attitude era, wrestling at its peak. Nostalgia from the 80s and 90s, memories we seek. Pineapples for our rings, a unique touch. Geek culture in our blood, we love it so much. Geek Blood forever, we love it so much. Geek Blood, where we talk about it all, from superheroes to wrestlers. We stand tall, Ray and Kevin, the dynamic duo in sight. Geek Blood, shining bright, shining bright. Did you hear about Pluto? Let's messed up right. Geek Blood, taking you on a nostalgia flight. From movies to TV, we cover it all. Join us every week, we'll have a ball. Shuffle.
Hey, what's going on?
What's going on?
I don't know. Something weird is going on with the intro today, but still trying to get the kinks out of this thing. We have a good episode this week. Lots of stuff to talk about. It's few reviews. Comic-Con's happening. We'll talk about Comic-Con up until now. It's going to happen throughout the rest of the weekend, but we got a couple of first days of Comic-Con. But first, let's talk about this week's and last week's episode of Dexter Resurrection. You warned me that there was going to be a big, huge reveal last week. And right after we got off the podcast, I found out what it was.
Yeah.
That Quinn and Mazuka both show up in the episode. Batista retires from Miami to go up to New York to try to find out what's going on with Dexter. And he has a kind of send-off in Miami, and you see Quinn coming back for the first time. I know probably going to be coming back before the end of the season, setting up something that I have a feeling that we're going to lose Batista this season,
but
because he's on the hunt for Dexter.
And if we lose him, I'm guessing it's going to be David Dastmalchian that kills him. That's my theory. Because it's not going to be Dexter, and it's not going to be Harrison. Because Dexter has a code.
What's going to open this up is that now Quinn has a warning that once all of this goes down, you're gonna know, but I don't want you to know right now.
Yep.
When he finds out that Batista is murdered, Quinn is going to be on the hunt, which means next season could be incredible. Because we already know they have a lot of tension from past seasons of Dexter. So yeah, that's going to be awesome. This week's episode was pretty damn good too. He meets all of these serial killers that Peter Dinklage brings together. He's not a murderer himself, but he brings all these serial killers together. He has a trophy room with all of their fridge. He actually has Dahmer's fridge and John Wayne Gacy's clown outfit on display in this museum area in his house or in this building. But he had trophies from the Bay Harbor Butcher, who he thought was Dokes, but it wasn't. Of course, it was Dexter. And that's just what the records show. But it was that when Dexter saw it, he's like, "Oh wow, that's my old,
the slides.
That's my old stuff." But the slides, yeah. But yeah, this week's episode was great. I love the new characters. I love Cam from Modern Family.
Yes.
I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but he's a family man like Dexter always wanted. He has a family. I think his wife even knows he's a serial killer by the sound of it, because it goes out for his weekend jaunts to kind of feed the need. I thought that was great. I love Kristen Ritter as kind of this love interest going back and forth with Dexter. But this week's episode kind of was focused on Neil Patrick Harris, who ended up being on the table at the end. I didn't expect in the last one episode, because he was kind of, out of everyone in that room, he was the one that fits Dexter's code to the T.
He knew when he was going after his next person.
Yep. So yeah, Dexter is going after them, and of course Dexter's probably going to be going after almost everybody in that room one by one for the rest of the season. So that's pretty exciting to see where this show has turned all of a sudden. All mixed in with Batista meeting Harrison for the first time. I can't remember. The people in Miami just thought Harrison was killed. Like what? I can't remember what everybody thought happened to Harrison.
I don't think they ever
original
explained
Dexter
anything
run.
about that because he just disappeared. Remember?
Okay. Yeah, because I he wasn't like a
Right.
missing person or yeah, who knows? But maybe they. I can't remember exactly what everybody thought of it, but he did have a confrontation with him and kind of putting two and two together with him working at this hotel and the mysterious guy showing up in 9 pieces in trash bags in the harbor of New York. He's trying to put two and two together that he's Dexter's probably passed down his ways of killing to his son. So great setup of this show, and I cannot wait to see how it goes. Airs on Fridays, Paramount Plus, if you want to watch along. Another show had a debut on Wednesday that took the internet, the White House, everybody by storm, and that was South Park season 27. My slides aren't loading for some reason. There we are. This episode, Jesus comes back, but that's not all. We get kind of a ceremonial resurrection of Saddam Hussein, kind of, in the form of Donald J. Trump. And what they did in this, because everything going on behind the scenes, everything going on behind the scenes. I like how your photo is blocking the uncensored pic of Trump. Everything going on behind the scenes with Paramount. I have it in the news. We'll talk about it now. But they made a $1.5 billion 5-year deal or 10-year deal. I can't remember what it was. 5-year deal for South Park. So you're talking 10 new episodes plus all of the streaming rights for the show, which is the bigger part of that deal because you're not going to get paid $300 million an episode for that show, but you will for a season, but you will get paid for the streaming rights because a lot of people watch South Park still, especially the older stuff. That was going on, plus all the Stephen Colbert stuff we mentioned. I believe it was last week. I don't think it was this week. I can't remember. But Stephen Colbert ended up getting canned of his show. And that took a huge political turn because everybody thinks it was a political move from Trump having a deal with Paramount and the payoff and all this. So with that going on, and plus the Skydance Paramount stuff, Matt and Trey were pissed. So they put this episode out kind of poking fun at Trump, Paramount, and the whole entire woke culture. Like what happened? Why did everybody turn religious? That's why Jesus came back. And at the end of the episode, Jesus is like, hold on, be quiet. I don't want to be sued by Trump. The whole episode was about if you say bad shit about Trump, he's going to sue you. So, and at the end, throughout the whole entire episode, he's in bed with the devil, literally. And he has the same exact voice, same exact mannerisms of Saddam Hussein from the Bigger, Longer, Uncut movie. And from everything I've seen from this, it seems like we're going to get another war with Canada. There's been promo shots of them going into Canada in war. And we know where that went the first time with Terrence and Phillips. So it'd be interesting to see Trump lead that war, but we'll have to wait and see. Usually 10 episodes, I think, a season nowadays they do. I don't know. I haven't watched in a while, but I am going to watch. It's a good time to watch if you haven't watched in a while because you can pick it up right now. A lot of controversy, but it's South Park, and they're not left, they're not right. They'll take care of anybody. So they're not political in any way. Both sides have complained about them in the past. So if you're a fan of South Park back in the day, go ahead and watch it. It's on Paramount Plus. Usually the day after it airs on there, so you want to watch it. But it was a good episode. It made the White House have to make a statement about it. So if the White House makes a statement, it must ruffle some feathers. So wanted to mention this too. Peacemaker has a season 1 rewatch happening on Well, the rewatch is happening on YouTube, and you can get the podcast as well. But it's hosted by James Gunn, and they're going to be taking one by one episode. I think coming out Tuesdays and Thursdays. Came out yesterday for episode 1. It's on YouTube, but they broke down the episode, talking about episode 1, and talking about what's going to be canon and what's not canon stuff in the episode. But I didn't want to mention it. I haven't watched the whole thing yet. But also a rundown came down today about Peacemaker season 2, talking about what it's about. Peacemaker discovers an alternate world where life is everything he wishes it could be, but this discovery also forces him to face his traumatic past and take the future into his own hands. So, and also the other thing, this used to air when it first came out. It used to air Friday mornings at 3 a.m. Now it's coming out prime time Thursday night at 9 p.m., which is awesome. Yeah, I love that. I think they finally realized that that's a great formula, because Disney and Marvel and everything else, and Star Wars all started coming out prime time, and they must have been getting better numbers because everybody started doing it. So, I cannot wait for that. So, that comes out every Tuesday and Thursday. If we hear any nuggets that we want to talk about, we'll bring it up on the show. But he is talking about canon, because a lot of that stuff that happened in Peacemaker season 1 will be going to season 2, but there's going to be some stuff that they mentioned about the DCEU, like Aquaman, the stuff at the end. He's going to mention that stuff's not canon anymore. But we'll tackle that week to week as the show goes on. But and then I believe the podcast is continuing through season 2 too. They're going to be breaking down episode by episode every week too, so that'll be cool. And so it goes. Did you have a chance to watch the Billy Joel documentary on? Okay, you need to watch it. It's fucking incredible. There are 2 parts. First part was last Friday. Second part is tonight. So we'll talk about it in a couple of weeks. But the first part talked about him coming up, talked about all of his music, and talked about the first 5 albums, which are basically the albums that made him a star. And it's just so fucking good. Not just because of the music, because I love Billy Joel, but his story and the way they told the story was done so well. His first wife I did not know how connected she was to the business with him. She was his manager. And throughout the documentary, they talk about his music and how the music was influenced by her, their relationships at the time. The song She's Always a Woman was about her. She Kills with a Smile is a line about her, because she's always smiling, but she's got this tiger-like instinct about music, about the business, protecting Billy's legacy, and just booking him and everything. I thought that was a great story. It's kind of his muse throughout his whole entire early life. And then they got divorced. By the end of the documentary, they get divorced. And he gets married to Christy Brinkley in the 80s. So it'll continue in this next part tonight, which I cannot wait for. I'm going to be watching it tonight live. But this is on HBO Max, 2 parts. Last part's tonight. And we will talk about that when we come back in a couple weeks. We're going to be taking off the next 2 weeks. But very, very good documentary. Definitely recommend that. Do not recommend these movies. Although I think if I had watched them when I was in high school, which I kept watching them, and I don't know why these passed me up, because you were definitely getting me into Scream and all of that, but for some reason these just passed.
Well, granted, they came out in 97, so we were still in middle school. So that's probably why we weren't really we weren't really going to the movies back then. We were just hanging out at school for the most part.
Yeah, we were hanging out mostly after high school, but I know what you did last summer. I still know what you did last summer. Consider the 2 main stories and the 2 main canon parts of this story. As far as the new movie is concerned, there are 2 direct to DVD, direct to streaming movies that have come out, or 1. But this is considered canon to the new movie. So I wanted to watch these in case I ever do watch those. This came out in 1997, 1998. The first one, Johnny Galecki from Roseanne and Big Bang Theory was the first victim. I believe his name is Rex or something like that. Second movie, very, very strange. They end up getting a vacation in the Bahamas or something, and the killer follows them there, And Jack Black is a reefer
Yeah,
smoking
he is.
Rastafarian.
Looking back,
yeah,
that was
a
probably
strange.
that could have been my
fucking
first
movie.
introduction to Jack Black.
I think so. Yeah, that and was it High Fidelity?
I never
He was
saw
in
that
one of
back in the
those
day,
types of
so
movies.
this is probably my first
Yeah.
introduction to him.
But very strange movies. But I think it's kind of like Scream, although Scream's a better movie. I think if I had watched these when they first came out, I think I
And
would have.
The first
had
one
that
is based
nostalgia
off the
feeling
book.
for 'em.
By
Yes,
the same,
yeah,
I think the
did
same
hear
author
about
is
that,
Teaching Mrs. Tingle, I think, which Kevin Williamson also wrote
Okay.
the screenplay for the movie. So yeah.
Okay. I remember reading that in school. So yeah. Yeah, they're okay. The first one's a little bit better, but it's if you don't know what they are, it's they basically hit a hitchhiker and when they're drunk driving around a bend and some ocean town, looks like middle coast, like New Jersey. I believe it's New Jersey, and they all think they killed him and they put him in the water, but 1 year later, you find out the guy starts writing in notes that I know what you did last summer, and he's hunting him down with a fish hook. And he's got this big hooded figure, and you find out who he is at the end. But and he comes back for the second movie. Yeah, it's one of those. It's got all the tropes. And the other thing I cannot believe, I have not watched these movies till now, and I've seen Scream probably Scary Movie probably 20 times, which is a blatant ripoff of this movie. It's a parody of these movies, the first one at least. But yeah. I'm glad I watched them, so I'm ready to watch the new one when it comes out on streaming. Speaking of coming out on streaming and reboots, have you had a chance to watch Happy Gilmore 2? Well, brace yourself. It's God. Not good. It's definitely. I laughed quite a bit. Okay, and I love the first Happy Gilmore. It's one of my first classic as far as comedy is concerned. Right. But this movie is atrocious. There are a couple of great scenes. The stuff with Eminem is great. The stuff with MJF is great, but they definitely follow down that hole of the reboot or the remake or whatever you want to call it. That is just not as good. It's not going to live up to the legacy of the first movie, and this definitely had that problem. This is on Netflix right now. It came out today. We'll talk about it. If you want to talk about it in a couple of weeks, we can. But my review, the legacy of the first one is just so strong to me. It's hard to really like this movie for me. But I did enjoy it because I did laugh. So I cannot say I did not laugh at it. There were some funny parts. Chubbs was a big, huge miss because I wish he was part of this, but he just passed the last couple of years. But yeah. And speaking of movies, I went to the movies yesterday, saw 2 movies. We both saw one. We saw the movie of the week. But I went back and I saw Superman. But this time I saw it like you did in 3D. I wasn't impressed with the 3D, and I've had problems with 3D in the past. I wasn't impressed with the 3D in this as well because it's transferred over. It's not filmed.
Yeah, it's in post-production
like Avatar was. Yeah, and the post-production stuff I've never been a fan of. Even the Marvel stuff, like at this point, I don't give a shit about it. But I was just happy to see the movie again because I hadn't seen it in 2 weeks. And I know it's probably going to be going into fewer theaters. I think this may have been the last 3D.
Yeah, because I think Fantastic Four will take it over or something.
Yeah. But it was just great to see it again. The second viewing, noticing things I've been reading about for the last 2 weeks, and just seeing how great this movie is. And then just realizing, like, wow, this summer was the summer of first. Like, this first superhero, Superman, the first DC superhero, Superman, has a reboot. And right on the other side of the pond, right on the other side of the comic book rack, Fantastic Four also has their reboot. This time with the MCU changing the trajectory of the MCU going forward. But quick reactions. I do want to do a spoiler kind of review at the end, but quick reactions. Great movie, visually stunning movie. The music is phenomenal. But they definitely took the easy road on a lot of things. It felt more like, we said this before, it felt more like a phase 2, phase 3 intro movie, because they didn't want to, I don't think they wanted to rock the boat too much, especially towards the end of the movie. It left a lot of things wide open for sequels if they want to ever do it. Especially, I don't want to get into it till we do the spoiler talk, but great movie,
Yeah, it was
and
cool.
I cannot wait to see Doomsday. We'll talk about that more at the end a little bit, but there's some great promotional stuff coming out for this movie. The billboard in Hollywood of Silver Surfer going through the billboard was cool. For some reason, my stuff's not loading tonight. But it looked awesome. This I want so fucking bad. I want this viewfinder. I love viewfinders. It was one of my favorite toys growing up because you get the 3D look out of it. I don't know why my stuff's not
loading fine.
really well tonight, but
it's there.
But yeah, it's. Yep. You're seeing it. It's not for me. For me, it's not. It's like spinning and spinning. There we go. But yeah, the poster looks awesome. The retro poster for an ad for a viewfinder. But and during the premiere, Yaya, which I don't know how to say his last name, but he played Black Manta. He's been playing Wonder Man. He went in character on the red carpet as Wonder Man. Also. And Gruffa, I don't know how to say his last name, but he was Mr. Fantastic in the Tim Story Fantastic Four movies. He's on the red carpet as well. And the original Fantastic Four were on the red carpet and also had a cameo in the movie from Roger Corman from the 1990s that was never released, but they had a cameo too. But yeah, they were on the red carpet, all four of them. And Fantastic Four First Steps Thursday night opening. Had $23 million in previews. Estimated originally beginning of the week 100 to 110 million. I think word of mouth is making that number go a little bit higher, but we'll have to talk about it in a couple of weeks to see how this movie does. But it looks like he's gonna be doing good numbers. But yeah, great movie, and I cannot wait to hear more about it going into Doomsday and seeing where these characters go from here. San Diego Comic-Con currently going on. I want to bring up a few things. Happening until Sunday, but we do have some new banners for Peacemaker showed up on the route. And is that there we go. Some banners there. We got some new behind the scenes stuff from Predator Badlands of the trophy room from the Predator. It looked really, really cool. This is a setup inside of San Diego Comic-Con. You got a new trailer for this is Spinal Tap 2. The End Continues. I got a new poster for that as well. Some behind the scene pictures. It looks like The Office. I mean, The Office, everything that's been a mockumentary since then has been based off of this is Spinal Tap. Everybody's kind of done the same thing, same formula. And we got the first look. I don't think I have the picture of it here. Let me see if I put it on here. I don't think I had time to do it. If I didn't, I'll talk about it later. No, I didn't. But we did have a first look of Ahsoka Season 2. And we have the new look at Darth Maul, the Shadow Lord animated series. We got a new picture of Darth Maul there, which I did not realize was as fuzzy as it is. Thursday, last night was the South Park panel. Didn't know much about that other than they got in a fight with Paramount because they wanted to edit out Trump's penis, and they no, you're not touching it. And tonight they're going to be talking about Alien Earth. Gen V's going to have a new trailer. Predator, Badlands, Dexter Resurrection, Tron Ares, all going to have new trailers tonight. So look forward to that. And tomorrow night, Coyote versus Acme. They're going to have a new trailer as well. Paradise has a panel, Project Hail Mary. Peacemaker's panel is probably the biggest one of the weekend. It's going to happen Saturday night. And Welcome to Derry as well is probably the next biggest one. And we'll talk about those in a couple of weeks. But we do have some sideshow toys. I want to talk about some other Lego stuff that was revealed. The Kingdom Come figure. This is a Kingdom Come from Alex Ross. This is a McFarlane figure. Looks really, really cool. It's exclusive to the San Diego Comic-Con this year. We also have some Funko Pops for Fallout, the TV series. They all look pretty good. There's 6 of them there. Is that loading? There we go. And we also got the Pennywise from Welcome to Derry's, the first look for the pop figure for that. Metallica have a brand new set of Metallica 72 for 72 Seasons, their new album. It's new pop figures. We also have the first look of the Arkham Asylum Lego set with tons of minifigures. And the whole entire Arkham Asylum with a whole bunch of prison cells, but it comes with a whole bunch of course, the photos are in the way, but it comes with a whole bunch of minifigures from the Joker down to Harley Quinn, the Riddler, Mr. Freeze. There's a lot of Easter eggs inside the asylum as well. I was looking at some of the stuff, looked really cool. Mondo has some great animated series from Batman figures coming out that look really, really cool. I love Mondo figures. They're kind of, especially with the animated stuff, they look really cool. They got Batman, Robin, Bane, and Scarecrow. So yeah, that looks cool. Saw this cool statue of I think it's Iron Studio. Yeah, Iron Studios with Spider-Man and Mary Jane sitting on what looks to be a Daily Bugle scaffolding. Also got a black and white Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles from back in the day. 4-figure vinyl figure set looked cool. They were giving out these Ares. Come on, load. They're giving out these Tron Ares these that they were limited to 2,500, but they were giving them out and they're shaped like the Tron logo. And it's 9 Inch Nails, the new 9 Inch Nails songs on there. I thought that was kind of unique and cool. I wanted to bring that up. And this Darth Vader statue, we talked about this probably a few months ago, but it's a big, huge diorama of the dark side versus the light side and the creation of Vader. They have it on display there, and I saw a lot of pictures of it. It looks really, really cool, and it lights up with LEDs and everything. Looks really cool. Mondo also coming out with these Ghostbusters, real Ghostbusters figures from the cartoon from the 80s that look really, really cool. Like I mentioned, Mondo does a great job with their animated stuff. They did the animated Spider-Man stuff that looked awesome too. And the Fantastic Four, Iron Studios came out with their figures there, and the Galactus figure looks incredible. Looks really, really good. And Galactus in the movie looked good too, but it comes with all the mini figures of all the characters flying around him, which is really cool. Today, 2 new posters for Peacemaker release. I think they're getting ready to release them tomorrow. And also, yeah, I guess that's it. That's all I had in the notes. But yeah. Peacemaker 2 new posters. Is that loading for you at all?
Yeah.
Do you see those?
Yep.
Yeah, they're not. For some reason, they just keep spinning on mine. I don't know why. But yeah, those new posters for Peacemaker. Yeah, and we'll talk about Comic-Con when we come back. We hear any new reveals, anything going on with DC. They have the big Peacemaker panel tomorrow with John Cena and James Gunn. So if they reveal anything, we'll talk about it when we come back. But yeah, I love Comic-Con. This year's kind of a little bit of a Comic-Con, because all the big studios, all the big movie studios kind of sat out. But yeah, we'll talk about that later. But till then, let's get into the news. And it's not news, I'm going to trail around it. Got a new trailer for Predator Badlands. Looked really, really good. And yeah, that movie, everything I see from it, every time I see a new trailer for it, it piques my interest even more. So I cannot wait for that. Got a new trailer that leaked, but we saw it last night for Fantastic Four, in front of Fantastic Four for Avatar. It's a theater exclusive for now, but Fire and Ash, the 3rd movie, the trailer came out. Comes out December 19th. Looks good. Kind of rehashing stuff that happened before and telling what's going to happen going forward too. But yeah, they look really good. And the new trailer for Good Fortune. This is the movie where Keanu Reeves plays an angel, and he's sent to Earth to help Aziz Ansari and Seth Rogen. They switch places. Got some character posters for that, and we also got the new trailer for that. Looked really, really good. Yeah, that's really cool. Superman for the second weekend made $57.3 million. Standard 54% decline from the first week. But yeah, really good number. I don't know what the total is now, but I know it's pretty high. It made 406 at the beginning of the week. I don't know what it is right now, but gonna do another good number this weekend. But Fantastic Four is gonna win. But they're still gonna be,
obviously, yeah.
They're gonna be on the heels. Rebirth, Jurassic World, doing great numbers. Grossed $600 million this week in the worldwide box office, making it the 5th biggest film of this year. Getting bad reviews, but for some reason, everybody loves seeing dinosaurs on the big screen. So
yeah, there was people last night going instead of, like, I was surprised there were so many people headed into that theater instead of Fantastic Four.
Yeah, that's weird. Yeah, it was a busy night in the theater. But yeah, it was actually number 2 last week in 23 million. And I know what you did last summer. The remake was remake was 13 million, number 3. So Ironheart on Disney Plus for the first first 6 days was watched a total of 526 million minutes across those first 3 episodes, making it number 6 on the Nielsen charts for that first week. I loved Ironheart. I thought it was a great show, one of the better Disney Plus shows in a while. Yeah, so that was good. Lots of deaths to talk about. And some of these are memorable childhood figures in my life from TV and music, especially TV. Rest in peace to Malcolm Jamal Warner. Died at the age of 54 from an accidental drowning. He was in Costa Rica or somewhere down in the Caribbean, and he got sucked in by a current when he was swimming in a river, I believe, somewhere, and just he couldn't get out of it, and he drowned. And I believe his daughter was with him. The daughter survived. Tragic story. Malcolm Jamal Warner, huge in the 80s and on the Cosby Show as Theo. And I remember watching.
He's in one of the Saw movies also.
Oh yeah, he's in Saw. He was in Malcolm and Eddie, that one show.
Yeah. Yep. Malcolm and
Eddie. He's been in
yeah.
everything. Yeah, he's been guest stars. I think he may have been on. Was he on Psych? One of the seasons.
Oh, he definitely was on Psych. Yeah.
Yeah, he had to have been. I remember he's been in he's guest starred in everything. But yeah, just an iconic family. The Cosby Show, taken down by all the allegations with Bill Cosby, but the show was huge, and it's the understatement of how huge that show was back then. And he was part of that family, and just memorable scenes with him, memorable stuff. That whole entire family dynamic with his father. A lot of that stuff's being reposted, but rest in peace to him. But the biggest part of this, well, there's two. The biggest thing in my life, I guess you can say, that took the biggest impact with me was Ozzy Osbourne. Rest in peace to Ozzy. Just 2 weeks ago, that epic performance that he did, even though he had Parkinson's, he could not get out of the chair. It was phenomenal. And I've been listening to Ozzy music for the last 2 weeks, just getting back into it, because I'm listening off and on for the last 20 years. But yeah, it's tragic how he died. I don't know if they had any idea that he was getting frail and this, or it just took a turn. I have no idea. Nothing really has been said yet. But he died earlier in the week on Tuesday. I'm not really sure the cause, thinking it's Parkinson's, but 76 years old. That concert was phenomenal. All the way up, the Black Sabbath stuff, never mind that. I mean, that's huge. That's the godfather of heavy metal music. Every heavy metal band that was at that concert 2 weeks ago, the reason why they were there is because they owe everything to Ozzy. They owe the influence of Black Sabbath, the influence of Ozzy's solo career, which is a whole other aspect of his life. There's 3 aspects: Black Sabbath, the solo career, and the Osbournes reality show, which he created the whole reality show gimmick. Going into people's homes, filming their family and showing them and how they're reacting in life, showing that reality of a family and showing that family dynamic. As crazy as that show was, never happened up until then. The closest thing we had was like Real World, especially, and nothing celebrity-wise was ever done before this. And this is the first time. Still the number 1 show ever on MTV too, by the way. And MTV is a puddle of a little glimmer of what it used to be, but nothing's touched it since. But the music, I mean, his solo career and the guitarist that he found, Randy Rhoads, who died after 2 albums with Ozzy, a guitar legend, Zakk Wylde, who he found later on, guitar god too. Robert Trujillo, now working for Metallica, was his bassist. He found him as well. So just remarkable eye for talent. And Ozfest as well, finding metal acts and bringing them on Ozfest, and they're becoming household names. Korn, they became famous on Ozfest. There's a whole bunch of bands that owe their career to Ozzy, not just because of the Ozfest stuff, but just because of the overall influence from Black Sabbath to his solo work and everything beyond. But Yeah, rest in peace to Ozzy. And always remember, I mean, the music is great if you love heavy metal music. But the big one for both of us, shockingly, is Hulk Hogan. Unexpected. 70 is he 70 something years old? I don't know the exact age of what he 76
4 or 5, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not really sure how old he was, but died unexpectedly of cardiac arrest yesterday. And shockingly, it's crazy because he's been in the spotlight for so long. This larger than life figure. The understatement, because I wasn't watching wrestling in the 80s,
Right.
the understatement of how big Hulk Hogan was to transcend wrestling and become a multimedia star, never mind a wrestling star, was tremendous. And you're talking about icons of the 80s, him, Mr. T. You can bring Superman and Mickey Mouse. Like these are people that everybody knows the face of them, and Hulk Hogan was one of them. And what he did for wrestling, he was larger than life, physically, and yeah, I mean, a lot of controversies with him though, inside and outside the ring, and that's a little bit of a tarnish on his career. But overall, I think there's been a lot of positive outlook after his passing. So I'm glad to see that. But also brought Vince McMahon back out from the shadows. That was weird on Twitter. But yeah, first time I remember Hogan actually watching wrestling was NWO, black and white, 1998 when I started watching. The very first night I started watching was the night Hogan fought Goldberg for the title. Goldberg won the title from him. So the very first time I saw him it was a heel. I never watched him back in the 80s. So what's your memorable moment of the first time you really recognized Hogan in your life when you were a kid?
Probably WrestleMania 6 when he lost the title to Ultimate Warrior.
Okay.
Even though I was watching wrestling before WrestleMania 6, that was the first time I remember a match of his having an impact on me.
Yeah, that's a big one. Yeah, that and of course just everything. You were watching a lot more back when I was, but back when you were younger, I wasn't. But yeah, rest in peace to Hulk Hogan. I believe they're having either tonight. I think it's tonight. I don't think they're doing it on Raw. I think they're doing a career thing on SmackDown tonight. If you want to watch it, it's on USA. But rest in peace to Hulk Hogan. Rest in peace to Ozzy Osbourne, and rest in peace to Malcolm Jamal Warner. They come in threes. They literally do. So yeah, big huge loss for the 80s. Any 80s kid, big huge loss. Microsoft. Get into the news after that. Microsoft, without any warning, got rid of all of their ability to buy movies, TV content on their Xbox consoles and Windows devices. They got out of the streaming game completely. You still buy stuff on iTunes, still buy stuff on Amazon, YouTube, whatever. But Windows completely taken out of the picture. They must not be selling stuff, I'm guessing. Plus, everybody's watching on streaming. Everybody has Netflix, Prime. They're all watching movies on there. So I know for a fact that buying stuff has gone down. I only buy stuff that's usually on sale, like when it's $4.99, $7.99. So I haven't bought an actual movie for $20 unless it's something I really want to see. I haven't bought one in a while, but Matt and Trey Parker talked about it. Big, huge deal worth $300 million a year, $1.5 billion. Huge numbers for them. And coming back, and they're going to be streaming exclusively on Paramount Plus. So, also officially announced this week, the Michael Jackson biopic has been delayed. I believe it's about 6 months till April 24th of 2026. And there may be a plan still to split the movie into 2 films. So we'll have to see. And there's also another biopic I was reading this week that could be happening as well. So who fucking knows? But they announced that Ted Lasso started filming this week, and we got a first look picture of the whole cast coming back, and they're filming in America somewhere. I can't remember where they are, somewhere out west, but that's them back there in a diner sitting down. And the tagline of the show is Ted returns to Richmond, taking on his biggest challenge yet, coaching a second division women's football team. So they are doing the women's route on that too. So that's going to be what this new series is all about. I love Ted Lasso. So yeah, the only person not coming back is Jamie Tart. He's not going to be a series regular, but he could come back for guest star appearances. But he is not going to be a series regular. But everybody else seems to have returned and signed on. So, and for multiple seasons, from what I hear too. Adria Arjano, who we talked about recently, she's the kind of the fan front runner to play
Yep.
Wonder Woman. She was also in Andor's girlfriend. She has been cast in the Michael B. Jordan, the Thomas Crown Affair. She actually recast the other woman. I can't remember her name. I don't think I have it in the article. Taylor Russell. I don't even know who she is, but she took that role over because the other woman dropped out. But yeah, she's gonna be playing opposite Michael B. Jordan, who's also directing that movie, coming out for Amazon MGM. So that'll be good. I love Michael B. Jordan. His directing style has been pretty good too. So.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't he direct Creed 3? He directed, right? Was that? Yeah, so yeah, that was a great movie. Skylar Gisondo, who played Jimmy Olsen, who's Sean Hunter. Wow, Sean Spencer from Psych, one of the younger ones, I think the second one. Joining the cast of Meet the Parents, going to be playing the fiance of Ariana Grande. Jimmy Olsen is a villain, by the way. He is a villain of Superman, the true villain of Superman. But yeah. Speaking of casting, Peacock had cast their Jason Voorhees, young Jason Voorhees, because that new Jason Crystal Lake show is a prequel set on Crystal Lake. And who's playing? I can't remember who's playing the mother. I can't remember her name, but she was in. She was in Freaks and Geeks. She's in a whole bunch. She's in Marvel. Hawkeye's wife. But yeah, they did cast the son, young unnamed kid. So, and I'm guessing the accident's going to happen and everything. So we're going to see the whole introduction of how everything happens on Crystal Lake. So that's exciting. Speaking of casting, comedian Ike Barinholtz, has been cast as Elon Musk in a movie called Artificial. The film follows the story of a quick firing and hiring of OpenAI CEO Sam Altman, who's played by Andrew Garfield. So yeah, this kind of reminds me of the BlackBerry movie, the Tetris movie, kind of those behind the scenes media movies. So. Yeah. Also got the first look of Sydney Sweeney as a pro boxer named Christy Martin, the new biopic. Got a first look at her. She looks like she's been disheveled. But yeah, that's her with the mouth guard in the boxing ring. Not the Sydney Sweeney I'm used to seeing, but got a brand new look at the logo for Masters of the Universe, the new He-Man movie coming out next year, June 5th, 2026. Yeah, that's a new logo for it. Also got a new poster, new banner for Wicked for Good. Saw the trailer before Fantastic Four last night on the big screen for the first time. Looked great. November 21st that comes out, and it will be their first night opening, so I cannot wait for that. I got a new poster for Highest to Lowest. This is a Spike Lee joint starring Denzel Washington, I believe ASAP Rocky. I can't remember who else is in there. It's another big name too. I can't remember off the top of my head, but I believe a trailer's coming out this weekend. Maybe it's Comic-Con, I don't know, but they get a new poster. This is what I was talking about earlier. From the creator of Breaking Bad, a new trailer, little teaser trailer came out today. What's his name? Gillian, right?
Yep.
Vince Gilligan. This is his third show after Breaking Bad, after Better Call Saul, kind of a sci-fi show, what they're talking about. And I forgot the tagline. It's up there. I'm not going to scroll back up. But yeah, the tagline of it came out today. Some sci-fi show set in an apocalyptic world or something. I don't know. But we got a new 4DX poster for Nobody 2. I found out there's a 4DX theater not too far from here, or a 4D theater not too far from here.
Oh, nice.
Within like a half hour. Somewhere in, I think Stratham or Epping. I can't remember. There's somewhere close by that has a 4D theater. But yeah, coming out on August 15th. Can't wait for that. Also, speaking of 4DX, another movie came out in 4DX, Dogma. Dogma is doing this whole re-release thing right now, but they've transferred it to a 4DX theater. That's kind of cool. I don't know. There's not too many action scenes in that movie, but yeah. If you ever been to like Disney World and you're on those rides that kind of move with you and you smell and you get the mist hitting you and the fog and everything, that's what a 4DX theater is. but you're watching a full length movie. The only movie I ever saw was Rogue One, Star Wars. It was great. And there's been so many movies after that and before that I would love to see in 4DX. Jurassic Park would look amazing. Anything with water would look amazing because you get the watery mist and fog and everything. You get the heat from the fire and you get smells. They put scents in there too. It's really cool. But got a new poster for Gen V. Now this is trailers coming out tomorrow because of Comic-Con, but we did get a new poster for it. Francis Ford Coppola teases that he's planning on making a mega cut of Megalopolis.
Oh God!
Another director's cut, a recut, saying that he will make the film more weird, and he says, "I can do anything I want." You go for that. The movie's horrible. You can edit it as much as you want. You can add whatever you want. You think it's a masterpiece, Francis Ford Coppola, go ahead, but it's trash. Wednesday, before this new show coming on Netflix season 2, before season 2 debuts next week, Wednesday has been renewed for season 3 on Netflix. One of their highest rated shows, one of their most anticipated shows, so no surprise there. Nintendo Switch 2 is the fastest selling gaming hardware in US history. That's kind of crazy, considering it's a sequel to another video game system.
Right.
Let's talk about some swag.
Swag. Stuff we all get.
Come on, son. You know that's right.
Lego coming out with a Game Boy, little mini Game Boy with pushable buttons, cartridges, and change out screens. You can change from the Super Mario Land game and the Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening game. You can put those in there and play nostalgia to your heart's content with games that don't actually work. But it was kind of cool. Got some new Funkos for Home Alone. You got Marv, Kevin, and Harry. All look really, really cool. Got this really cool figure. I think it's Superman Red and Blue from the 90s. I don't really know the run that well, but it's a McFarlane figure. It looks really cool. Kind of a pastel kind of color. Looked cool. Also, McFarlane figure for Silver Surfer. I love these I like these McFarlane Masterpiece. I think they're called Masterpiece figures. Some of them are really, really cool. This one looked cool. Silver Surfer. But so with that being said, let's get into the DC. There's a lot of DC news. There's a lot of Marvel news because first off, James Gunn did an interview with Happy Sad Confused with Josh Horowitz. Watched the whole thing. I'm sure you did too. And talks about a lot of stuff in DC. Oh, I forgot for some reason this did not show up in here. Maybe hold off on that. We'll talk about that in a minute. But James Gunn talking a lot about DC. First off, talks about Sergeant Rock. Luca, not part of it anymore, still in development. Then he talks about Creature Commandos. He's not writing season 2. I don't know if he's not talking not now or in the future. Somebody else is going to write it. I'm not sure really what the context of that was. I can't remember. But
true.
Talking about the Flash and Aquaman, not expected to be introduced in the DCU in the next 2 years. They're going to be focusing on them later on, but they are a part of the plan. James Gunn also talked about the Hall of Justice mural, and it confirms that Jay Garrick isn't one of them, and then that's where I want to talk about it. He today released the HD version of I warned you it was going to be coming out. Not a lot of recognizable characters there. I know Dr. Fate is there. I know there is a speedster, Jay Garrick. He says not Jay Garrick, so I don't know who that is.
Right.
There is somebody there. So yeah, I don't know any of these characters. They're all Justice Society characters, so I don't know. I'll have to listen to a breakdown in the next couple of weeks. We'll talk about it if we want to, but Jay Garrick's not a part of that. A lot of older characters, a lot of stuff I don't even know. I think Zatanna's father's there. Don't know much about that, but also talked about the Henry Cavill stuff. That was the big news story that came out of that, and how that news of him signing his deal the same day that Henry Cavill announced him coming back. They're like, what did you do that to me, guys? You already gave me the biggest problem in the world my first day. Now I'm going to fire Henry Cavill. That's exactly what happened. And he felt it was unfair to Henry. He actually had one-on-one sit down with him, which I was hoping that he did. I was hoping
Yeah.
it wasn't done through email. I'm glad he sat down with him because that was such an embarrassing moment
Yep.
for the old regime. But he kind of took care of it, saying, "You're welcome. I mean, you're always going to be. You're a great actor, and if there's something that comes up, you could be a part of. We may throw you in the mix, but we'll see about that. I don't know." Talked about World's Finest. Talked about Superman, the follow-up of Superman. It's not going to be World's Finest. Says announcement is coming sooner than later, but not this week. Kind of joking, but there will be an announcement. It's the next thing he's working on, or his follow-up of Superman. So we'll see about that. A lot of people speculating that it could be the Authority, Superman and the Authority movie. I know you probably heard about that. But, also talking about Alan Ritchson as Batman in the fan casting. I'm a big Alan Ritchson fan, both as an actor and a guy. Kind of takes a pause in the interview and said, "Let's just wait and see what happens." Like you said to me off pod,
James Gunn speak for not happening,
No.
guys.
Yeah, I don't think it's happening. Yeah. Also teasing that the DC studio series could be greenlit soon. Not sure what it is, but hope to be greenlit sometime in the next few days. The big rumors this week, there were two. Metropolis crime anthology TV series with Jimmy Olsen, bringing in a lot of unknown villains or not so known villains of the week for Jimmy Olsen, doing kind of a TV show based off of that. The other one, I can't remember what the other one was, but news that came out of this week: Wonder Woman. There is a movie in development, fast tracked, I guess you could say. We kind of downplayed the fast track of it all, but they have set a writer to it, Anna Naguara. I don't know how to say her last name, but she's going to be writing that. She wrote Supergirl, and she's also currently writing Teen Titans. So yeah, it's a priority, but it's not fast tracked. And there's been rumors that they're looking for a TV focused resume for an actress. They said that's not the case. They never look for, in a million years, would not look for an actress just based off their TV resume. So that's good to hear. I'm glad that James Gunn talks to the media. I'm glad he goes on Twitter and talks, so you don't leave a lot of mystery to what's going on. But yeah, and rumor, I'm not sure if it's completely confirmed yet, but joining the cast of Clayface is the love interest, or the I guess is a love interest to Tom Rice Harris, who's going to be playing Clayface. Naomi Aki, I don't know how to say her last name, but yeah, she's kind of in the front runner to be the female lead of that movie. So, asked about Black Adam and Shazam: Fury of the Gods and having Economos and Harcourt in there is they're not canon. I hate it. The reason why he said that is because it created such a mess for him now, having to find out what's canon and what's not canon in the new DCU. But Booster Gold series, that's the other series. Currently in development, David Jenkins was announced this week is writing the pilot. If it's picked up for a full series, he's also become the showrunner. Also, Zach Greger, Barbarian Weapons. I know you love Barbarian. You always tell me how great it is. Has written a screenplay for Joker and Harley Quinn and plans on submitting it to James Gunn sometime soon. Takes place in Gotham. It's a horror-centric movie. He's hyping it as his favorite thing he's ever written. So yeah. No, that's where I put the mural in the notes. We need to talk about that. No, not yet. We'll get into that in a minute, but there's this preview for you. Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse is shifted 3 weeks later. They want to get away from where everybody's going to be in school in the beginning of June. They want to get closer when everybody's out of school at the end of June. So June 25th, 2027 is a new date. And yeah, it's pretty much close to July 4th weekend. So all 4 episodes of Wakanda for Eyes of Wakanda, the new animated series, supposed to be coming out, I believe, at the end of August. Now they're coming out next week on August 1st. All 4 episodes, each one 30 minutes long. So we'll talk about that when we come back. And Kevin Feige, speaking of interviews, did a long-form interview, came out last Sunday for Variety. Huge, our Hollywood reporter. I can't remember who it was. I think it was Variety. And did a huge interview, which is rare for him to be talking this much about stuff. But he did miss out on Comic-Con this year, so it's not surprising the timing of this. because a lot of people are waiting for information on what's going on with Marvel, what's going on with Avengers, and with the Avengers movies and everything going on now. And he's kind of opening the dialogue for a lot of this stuff. So let's get into it. First off, reviewed Superman, liked it a lot. It praised Mr. Terrific, praised Corn Sweat, thought he was awesome. So yeah, love to hear that. Says that even before everything that happened with Jonathan Majors, all the legal stuff, they started to realize that Kang wasn't Thanos, quote unquote. And they started having the rumblings of what they were going to do. We had started talking about Doctor Doom even before we officially pivoted from Kang. In fact, I started talking with Robert about that during Ant-Man 3 before it even came out. So yeah, not surprised there. Talk about Secret Wars. It was confirmed that it's a plan to reset singular timelines. The current plan right now in the MCU is 7 years long on the whiteboard. And they have a plan up until 2032. So they always do the long-term plans. Reboot. Scary word. Reboot can mean a lot of things. So a lot of people reset singular timeline. We're thinking along those lines. X-Men is where that will happen next. So yeah. Kevin Feige thought Thunderbolts was a very, very good movie despite the box office results. I thought it was a really good movie too. So not surprised. Where are we at? Confirms that Jake Schreier, who directed Thunderbolts, is directing X-Men. Very lucky to have them, and very excited. The script is underway. And he says he's the right choice because he can work with a younger demographic, youth-oriented focus, and cast the movie for a more youthful audience. So that's kind of cool. Glad they're going that route. They're also going to recast the whole entire thing. Talking about the Short King Wolverine, comic accurate. If they're looking to cast the next Wolverine being a comic accurate, he says we want to embrace that which was not embraced 25 years ago when I was around on those early X-Men movies, which is those comic accurate looks. And we obviously know that from Deadpool Wolverine, what he did with Wolverine, more comic accurate. So not surprised there at all. Says that iconic Marvel characters, the first time this has ever been said, Tony Stark, Steve Rogers, anybody who's been a name will eventually be recast at some point with other major film like Bond and everybody else has done. They're doing it with Bond now, Corn Sweat to Superman. So saying that's definitely going to happen at Marvel too. So they really have no choice because the budgets of these guys after 5 movies gets ridiculous and they can't afford to do a low budget movie with Robert Downey Jr. So
yeah.
And Kevin Feige had met with the VFX company behind the Creator movie, which was great. We did a budget of like $80 million for that movie. It looked stunning. So he actually met with them after that movie came out to try to figure out how to make their movies at a lower budget with the CGI, because the CGI looked fantastic in that too. So also talking about follow up on all the post-credit scene stuff. We haven't really seen anything happen with that. I haven't seen any continuation of that saying. It's all about finding what the right moment is. I'm not throwing those post-credit stuff in later on and finishing them off, but like he mentioned, it took 17 years to bring back Tim Blake Nelson for Captain America: Brave New World. So yeah, who knows when it'll happen? Pretty much, but we're not gonna just throw it into a movie to say, okay, here's bridging something that happened 3 years ago. We'll make it happen when it needs to happen. Confirms that going forward, Marvel will be making less TV shows. TV shows they do make will not tie into the movies in any major way. And they're going to go back to things how they were with the Netflix ABC era, where it was not really needed. You don't really need the canon, but it'll still be connected, same universe, but you don't need it as far as movie watching is concerned. And they're going to be doing more season work rather than limited series stuff that they've been doing lately. So, and the next big thing is going to be, of course, Punishers, and then Daredevil, Born Again season 2. But, Kevin Feige admits that post Endgame was always quantity over quality, and that was all a Disney mandate. They had over 100 hours of stories in half the time. It's way too much, he said. I think it led to a lot of people to say it's used to be fun, but now do I have to know everything about all of these? And he's kind of trying to separate the TV from the movies for that reason. Asked if Moon Knight and Eternals will return in the MCU or when they will. I don't know that it's any specific ones that you name, but yes, it's all part of the plan. Characters we've introduced post Endgame will pop up again at some point. I think we're going to see Moon Knight probably in a Midnight Suns movie. I'm hoping, but also confirmed that Thunderbolts will not be addressed in Born Again Season 2. This is a New York story. Also talking about Young Avengers project. It says potentially on the horizon. And the big stuff that came out of this was Blade being delayed. We didn't want to put a leather outfit on him and have him start killing vampires. You can start and have a good script and make it a great script through production. But we didn't feel confident that you could do that with Blade. In other words, they didn't want to produce a script. They want to have the script completely good and done before they start filming. It's been through 4 different phases. 2 of them were period pieces. They've landed on something more modern with Blade. Eric Pearson currently writing the Blade script. He did Fantastic Four: First Steps and Thunderbolts. And Kevin Feige says he's had talk with Ryan Reynolds for the next Deadpool in the MCU, and talks about the future of Deadpool and Wolverine. He says there's more fun to be had with both those characters. So we'll see where they end up. Confirms that John Bernthal will return as the Punisher in Brand New Day. And it'll be a totally different Punisher. It says they're not allowed to bring Miles Morales into that movie. They've been told that they have to finish the 3rd and final Spider-Verse movie, and then once Sony's done with that, they can use Miles after that. So probably won't be in the next one. And confirmed that Spider-Man Brand New Day will be a street-level film. We are seeing for the first time in the Tom Holland Spider-Man stories him being a proper Spider-Man, him being himself, dedicated to saving the city and dealing with, for lack of better terms, street-level crime, as opposed to world-ending events. That's great. We're both kind of hesitant on that, so that's great. Destin, talking about Destin Daniel Craig in that movie, doing an amazing job right now. He's got about 8 or 9 comic covers up on the wall in his art department and trying to bring them to life. So that's exciting. Did the same thing with Fantastic Four. Kevin Feige has about 2 years left on his Marvel contract. Asked, do I want to be making big movies for audiences 10 or 15 years from now? Yes, absolutely. That's all I want to do. So, yeah. That's it for news. Let's get into the spoilers. A little bit of spoilers for Fantastic Four: First Steps. Great movie. The only problem I have with it is it left a lot open at the end, and it didn't really close off a lot of the gaps. Like Galactus survived, Silver Surfer survived, even though they're millions of light years away. Didn't really end the story. Villain's great. A lot of potential for Galactus. Galactus looked awesome, but it just left a lot of things open, which is okay. Like I mentioned, the movie is the first movie of probably a franchise. Getting a continuation probably in Fantastic Four 2 if they do that. But yeah. The big thing from this universe is 828. You find out in the post-credits scene or the post-credits that named after the birthday of Jack Kirby. This movie is a love letter to Jack Kirby. From the very first 15 minutes, which was a depiction of their intro to the world and how they got their powers and all the villains they fought. And it just looked like Jack Kirby come to life. If you ever read those older Fantastic Four stories, just how animated and how cosmic they are. And just all the space stuff with Jack Kirby looked incredible and brought to life in this movie. Silver Surfer, I thought was great. I thought the final VFX of how she turned out was great. Galactus, I thought was the very first time I saw him on screen. This was like a childhood dream come to life. I remember watching that animated Fantastic Four as a kid and actually seeing him in the big, huge ship coming to life after probably sitting there for millions of years, being woken up and go on a rampage to try to get Franklin, which is all a John Hickman thing. He's been writing the current Fantastic Four. That's a new thing. And this is definitely a story right out of the comic books that's going to continue. Franklin is a super powered, almost some say it's over super powered character, to the point where at the end of the movie where Sue Storm dies, he has a power to bring her back to life from death. So we're going to be seeing more of this world. I was afraid that we weren't really sure what was going to happen to this new universe, if this universe was going to be destroyed,
Yep.
if Galactus was actually going to destroy this world, because the only thing we knew before this movie was a spaceship at the end of Thunderbolts comes into orbit, and the Thunderbolts watch it coming in. But the universe survived, Franklin survives, and the after credits scene picks up 4 years later. Franklin's a 4-year-old. She's reading, Sue's reading him a story. Goes in to get another book out of the nursery, comes back, and standing over Franklin, or kneeling over Franklin, with his mask in hand, is I guess it's Robert Downey Jr. as Doom, as Doctor Doom. So we get the very first look at Doctor Doom. Very, very quick glimpse, only the back of him, the big, huge robe and everything. But yeah, leading up to what's going to happen in Doomsday and wanting to use Franklin's powers for some sort of cosmic mission. So exciting. And talking about, I think Feige was on the red carpet during the Fantastic Four First Steps, saying that the Fantastic Four Baxter billing is going to be in a lot more in Doomsday. Is going to be featured in that. There's going to be a lot of people in that kitchen, in that futuristic kitchen. So, yeah, very exciting. I love the way the 60s dynamic of everything in this movie turned out. Just overall, I'm very happy with how it looks. I think Matt Shakman is a fantastic director. I thought it was WandaVision, and I think it was the right choice to bring that aesthetic into the old 60s. Looked like something out of like Disney World. Epcot Center, way back what Walt Disney wanted Epcot Center to actually be. It's kind of what it looked like to me. And I always love that. So I love that. I love that look of this movie. I love the music. The music is stunning. Like, I don't think the soundtrack from the beginning to the end of that movie stops.
Right.
It's one continuous song that just kind of continues and flows throughout the whole entire movie. It just crescendos and goes down, up and down. Yeah, great movie. I think it's right on there with Superman for me.
Yeah,
it's like
same.
4.5 out of 5 for me.
Yeah.
And I think multiple viewings for this may help it. I'm not really sure, but of course it's like the first step of what's going forward for this next phase. This is a new phase 6. So yeah. 4.5 out of 5, and just a great movie. And next movie in this whole franchise is next year, hopefully. Starting filming, I believe, next week. Spider-Man Brand New Day. So yeah, exciting time to be a comic fan.
It's been a fun July.
Yeah, very fun July. 2 movies for 2 studios. They're pretty much their very first characters, Superman being DC's and Fantastic Four being Marvel's, being rebooted into a brand new universe, brand new way. And I think Marvel hit him, well, definitely for Fantastic Four. They hit it on the head because the past movies did not touch these characters like this. I did want to see more Ben Grimm. I wanted to see more Alicia Masters. I was kind of mad that they cast, what's her name? I can't remember her name, but she was in the American Pie movies. Yeah, Natasha. I'm kind of mad that she wasn't blind. For some reason, I'm so used to seeing a blind girl falling in love with a thing just because he's so grotesque. Well, that's what he thinks. He's so grotesque, but she doesn't see that because she can't see. So she falls in love with him for who he is. I kind of miss that aspect. I wonder if we'll see that later on. I don't know. Didn't get a lot of that. We didn't get a lot of Ben kind of beating himself up over the way he looks, and that's such a known part of that character. I kind of missed that, but maybe we'll see that later on. This is definitely the beginning. This is not the end. This is not the middle. This is the beginning of something fun, just like Superman. The beginning of something fun opens up a whole new world, literally a whole new universe. So yeah, I cannot wait. And we are taking the next 2 weeks off. And when we come back on the 15th of August, we got a lot of stuff to talk about. We'll have a show and tell. We'll talk about Dexter Resurrection episode 5 and 6. I'll talk about the And So It Goes documentary. I recommend you watch that documentary. It's very long. The first part was 2.5 hours, so probably the same tonight. I do recommend you watch it. It's very, very good. I'll talk about the Live Aid documentary I mentioned last week. I know that's going to be ending next week. Came out yesterday. I didn't have a chance to watch it because I was in the theater all day yesterday. But Sandman Season 2, the finale, was out yesterday. The final episode comes out on the 31st. So I'm going to talk about that whole entire how that show ends. We'll talk about that when we come back. Also on the 29th, in 4 days, WWE has their WWE Unreal show coming out on Netflix. I believe 4 or 5 episodes, all behind the scenes of how they made Royal Rumble, Elimination Chamber, and WrestleMania, and the Raw following WrestleMania. It's going to be behind the scenes of the writer's room, coming up with how that was made. Very first time that's ever been done. What we talked about before, podcasts have done that, opened up the world of wrestling to the fans, and now WWE is actually doing it. So, coming out in theaters next week, The Naked Gun. I may try to see that before we record. Like I mentioned, Eyes of Wakanda coming out on August 1st. Wednesday, season 2, part 1 coming out on August 6th. The Weapons movie comes out August 8th. I don't know if you want to see that or not. Kind of excited about that.
I probably will be seeing that, yeah.
On August 12th, before we come back, we got the first 2 episodes of Alien Earth on FX Hulu. Cannot wait for that. Also, coming the day we come back, Nobody 2 comes out. So we may have to figure out what we're going to do. But the rest of August, the big release, the big TV show is Peacemaker Season 2, coming out on August 21st. The baseball movie with Austin Butler, Caught Stealing, comes out on the 29th, and Toxic Avenger comes out on the 29th. So, kind of a great ending to the summer. Got some great stuff coming out. A lot of TV shows, a couple of movies. So, thanks everybody. And we'll talk to you in a couple weeks. We'll be back on the 15th of August, and enjoy some warm weather, and get out there and enjoy some sun. Work if you have to. Enjoy some time. Just enjoy some time. Enjoy the heat. Enjoy the sun. And we'll talk to you in a couple weeks. Peace.
Peace.
We're the Geek Blurb crew, here to enlighten you, talking all things geeky, from movies to wrestling to our podcast is the place where you wanna be for all the latest news and nostalgia from the 80s and 90s. We review comic book flicks and sci-fi hits, riding the wave of action movies with all the cool bits. From Iron Man to Star Wars, we cover it all. And when it comes to wrestling, we never drop the ball. Cheap Blurb, we're the kings of the nerds, rating movies and pineapples, our opinions never blurred. Join us each week for a geeky chat, with the latest scoop and a dose of nostalgia that. So if you're a fan of the comic book craze, or a lover of sci-fi and all its maze, tune in to Geek Blurb, we're here to entertain, bringing you the best in geekdom, it's our domain.